Hey everybody, Jem Schofield here with the C47 and another episode of Random Acts of. Sorry about the late post this week. There are a couple of reasons for that. The first one, probably the most important, is what has happened outside here. So there used to be a fence right there that connected over there to there. And last Sunday, when my in-laws pulled into my driveway, two enormous trees fell down. Fortunately, my son wasn't playing basketball. My car wasn't parked here. The trees came down, created a lot of damage. They actually clipped the roof in a couple of places to the carriage house, which is where my studio is. Thankfully, everybody was safe, but needless to say, it's been more than a little bit to work out the cleanup efforts on all of that. The second reason there has been a delay is because I have been working on setting up a new series, a weekly series. Okay, so let's go into the studio, and a little messy in here. I don't have everything dialed in yet, but what I want to do is spend a little time talking about craft, because I feel like I've been a little light on that recently because of traveling and stuff. So I am setting up for a new series. What the series is, I can't really say. The only thing I can say is that there are a lot of brown boxes around here. So let me go ahead and break down, while I have the overhead light on, sort of what the setup is in here. And then I'll actually start turning, well, I'll turn that light off, and then I'll start turning lights on. So over here, I have a 10 by 10. This is a tungsten-based flex light. So original 10 by 10 tungsten flex. All of the lights are dialed into a tungsten color temperature, except for that light right there, which I still can't talk about. I'm going to be allowed to talk about it in about a week or so. That's dialed into about 10,000 Kelvin, or exactly 10,000 Kelvin. And I'm actually rolling on those two cameras over there, so I can cut to that footage when I need to, so you can see it. Then what else do I have? Well, let's actually talk about the camera. So swinging over here, C100 Mark I. That has a 28 millimeter prime on it. That's the original classic series of Zeiss lenses. And then a second C100 Mark I, and that has a 50 millimeter, and that's obviously going to be getting a tighter shot in over here of what's going on the table. Down here, Lightstorm by Aperture. First time I'm actually using this light, and this light is the C version, so Lightstorm LSC for color tunable. 3200 to 5500 Kelvin. Nice light output. Also has that same great controller, which I have a V-mount lock battery mount on the back, and that's the same controller that I've been using here on the COB 120T tungsten version of this light. And there's something new here, though, which I've never talked about, and that is this sucker, which is the light dome from Aperture. This is going to create a nice big key source. It's going to do more than one job in terms of lighting the product here. It's going to bounce off of this bead board. This is a 4x4 piece of bead board, quacker clamp, holding that off of a grip head, off of a Kupo grip piece here, for really great for pipes and for grids and stuff. This 4x4 is just a 4x8 piece. This is 1 inch. That is bought at Lowe's. Bead board on one side, silver on the other. I've cut it into a 4x4 and then also scored it and taped it so it can break down to a 2x4, so it's easily put into the car. And so there you go. What else? Well, probably the only real important thing I need to talk about besides that is this up here, which is going to actually have the camera that I'm holding right now on it. And this is a little Arca Swiss mount off of a 2-stage articulating arm. And basically, I'm going to have a camera which is going to be mounted, pointing straight down onto the table there. I have to figure out the focal length here, but it's definitely going to be a wide lens, so you can kind of get an idea of what that's going to be. Make sense? Okay, so I think what I want to do now is turn off this house light. So let me go ahead and do that, and then we can start to break down sort of what's going on here. So again, placement, not exactly where it's supposed to be. In fact, I'm going to cut right now between the A camera right now, and you can kind of see what that 10,000 Kelvin looks like when the camera itself is set to tungsten in terms of the color temperature. And then here is the other camera, the vlogging camera, and take a look at that and look at the difference in terms of when you use auto white balance, how it changes that. Now obviously if I was on tungsten on here, next light I should probably turn on is this right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn that on so you can see what that light's doing. I'll turn it all the way up. It's probably not going to be all the way up in its final form, but you can see it's a kicker. It's creating a little edge over here, and that's what that light is doing. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this little nifty thing right here. This is a remote that Aperture provides with their lights. I can have up to 3 channels here, and what I've done is I've assigned the key light to channel 1. I've assigned the Lightstorm light to channel 2, and what I can do is I can just flip through them. So let's just go to channel 2 and hit that, and then it turns it on and off. And that's dialed down to about 60% right now. Again, I'm not sure where it's going to be. Channel 1, there we go, turn it on, and there's the key light. Okay, so now we can see what the key light's doing. So I guess put this down for a second because we have this as a reference point. You can see there's my A and B cameras, and this is sort of the setup here. Sans the M3 pointing down, and one of the tricks is going to be to get all of those to match. I'm trying different things here in terms of custom pictures on the C100 Mark II. Probably not going to shoot this in log, and then I'm going to use one of the picture styles inside of here. And then again, probably dial this down a little bit. I don't know, we'll see where that sort of sits. But you get the basic idea. Background light right there. We've got a little edge here with a little kick. We've got the table light, which is sort of creating this little uplit. And then this light here is really doing lots of jobs. It's going to light the products that are on here. It's my key light. It's bouncing off of here. It's coming back as a little fill. It's doing a lot of stuff. I like that light dome. That's pretty cool, especially in a space like this. Speed ring wasn't really a big problem. I actually didn't mind it at all. I think that's it. There's a little craft for you. And tomorrow morning I'm going to come into this space and I'm actually going to start to shoot this series, or at least the proof of concept of this series. So yeah, I think that's it. Man, this is why we don't use auto white balance. And that's another episode of Random Acts Of.